But let's start with the big news from this morning. Cade Cunningham is going to be out for quite a while with what turns out to be basically a collapsed lung. We're basically getting reporting on this in real time as we're recording. He's all we know right now is that he's going to miss an extended period of time. This is on the heels of taking a pretty tough shot to the back in Detroit's game the other night. Cunningham didn't play in the Pistons' last game. And so the Pistons were already getting prepared to miss Cunningham for a little bit, but now it sounds like, Matt, it's going to be a long time. Obviously, dramatic impact to the Pistons, to the Eastern Conference. Where do you want to begin with this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess who would well now they traded Jaden Ivey. Who do you think's going to kind of step in and fill the role? You have Dennis Jenkins. I still have a lot of Marcus Sasser stock.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just that's such a man. He might be. Is he the most like important in terms of floor raising players in the NBA right now?
I don't think there's a question, right? I mean,
Right?
Detroit is nowhere offensively without Cade.
Yeah. Man, this is gonna really suck for them. This is terrible. I'm just sitting here looking like we said it like yeah, Cade's out. Star players miss games. That's bad tragedy. But
But to
like
your
this,
point, right? Like Denver was able to stay over
yeah,
500 without Jokic. We've seen the Thunder play without Shai
yes,
Gilgeous-Alexander. There's so much depth and so many options on those
hmm
teams. Where with this Pistons team, first of all, is relatively new to being this good, right? And so they're still sort of just figuring out what it is to be this. And now all of a sudden they can't be this anymore because their MVP candidate in Cade is going to be out. I do think that's an interesting place to start because like who steps in now without Cade Cunningham? Because the big problem with the Pistons, if we were going to start trying to nitpick on the number one team in the Eastern Conference, is that they don't have much shot creation outside of Cade
hmm
Cunningham. Now, I guess the argument would be they have zero shot creation, but they're going to have to create shots somehow, and it will be interesting to see how JB Bickerstaff goes about that.
yeah. I mean, you got Dennis. I wonder if they go like a point Asar thing and like try to see how much Amen is in Asar, and you'll have a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more spacing because Asar will be the one on the ball. You can put another shooter out there, maybe go like Kevin Herter and Duncan Robinson out there. It won't be great. Like it really won't be great. And this 4 to 6 week timeline puts them in place to, potentially have to go through it. First of all, now the 1 seed in the East is not guaranteed, right? You're 3.5 games ahead of the Celtics, I believe, and both teams play. Let's see here. This is bad radio. 14 games ish, right? So like that's not guaranteed. Okay, but say you do, like by some miracle come away with the 1 seed, minor miracle, come away with the 1 seed. Like you're gonna like, do you want to play Atlanta right now? Is like what you're seeing from Atlanta right now better than Detroit without Cade Cunningham?
I don't think that there's a question. Yes.
Yeah, the
Right.
Hornets. Do you want to? The Hornets might have been able to beat them before Cade Cunningham went down. So like, what do you think they're going to do to him now? Like, so this isn't. I mean, 4 to 6 weeks is. Yeah, this might be like.
And the tough part about this
Mhm,
too is we've already passed that period where players had to get released in order to
mhm,
participate for teams in the playoffs. So even somebody like Chris Paul, who I don't think was has he officially been waived? I don't even know if he's a free agent, but like that would be a name out there that maybe you say, okay, let's go add him just to have somebody that can run a pick and roll for
mhm,
us. Lonzo Ball is out there if they wanted to try to make an outside addition, but his whole injury history is what it is. Could they go after somebody like Cole Anthony? I think is available. Like we're starting to scrap the bottom of the barrel, like the very bottom of the barrel. You're probably better just riding with the guys that you've had, whether it's a Marcus Sasser, who is definitely going to get some run. I would probably guess he steps into the starting job and they keep bringing Jenkins off the bench and things like that. But I also will be intrigued to see the other guy. Like you mentioned, Asar Thompson. Can he step? They needed Asar Thompson to kind of step into a little bit more of a playmaking wing role anyway, even with
mhm,
Cade, right? Like he was. I think I wrote a piece about for RealGM about the biggest X factors in the league going forward, and Asar Thompson was one of them for me because he hasn't really taken that step. He's gotten a little bit better as a ball handler this year, but he hasn't really taken a step into being a playmaker. I've been impressed with some of the stuff I've seen from Ron Holland, and I do wonder if they just experiment with that a little bit more. If they almost just say Asar, Ron, like compete against each other to see who gets the most touches offensively now. But really, I think the key is going to be like, do they have somebody who can run a real pick and roll with Jalen Duren and just sort of maybe spamming that more than they even have this season.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's Karis LeVert, right? He's the other kind of
That's a great point.
part of this equation. We've seen that he can get a bucket and play point guard at times, but it's really going to be by committee, I think, at the end of the day. And it's going to have to just the problem with Cade, losing Cade is like, like say okay, say this was the exact same team and then they lost Luka Doncic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you could make the argument, okay, they're going to get better on defense, right? So maybe you can, scrap together enough offense and be this elite defense, right? But with Cade, like he's a really good defensive player, So it's like you can't say like, oh, we're losing our weak link. You might be getting worse on defense because now you're gonna have to play lineups with like Herter, Robinson together, or Sasser and Robinson together. So yeah, it's so sad. Like they've been such a great story this year, but yeah, I don't know. It does not. I wouldn't pick them in a playoff series at this point.